Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. So finally, we are on this paper that is paper 1, non-calculated version, Specimen 1A. And this is for 2025 May-June exam and onwards. This is the paper 1. Now, paper 1 is without calculator. It's for 100 marks. Previously, it used to be for 80 marks. Now the time is 7:35. That's the formula booklet that we can use. And let me write over here the time right now. So we are starting with 7:36 p.m. And let's solve the first 5 or 10 questions. Let's get started. The first thing, write 2.70486 correct to 3 decimal places. So first of all, this is the decimal place. This is first, this is second, this is third, and this is the fourth decimal place. Since the fourth decimal place is 8 and it's greater than 5, we know the rule, therefore round it up. So therefore the answer is 2.705. That is the answer for this first thing. Question number 1 is done. Simplify. Very easy simplification. That is, all these terms are of y. So 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 minus 2, that is 13y. This thing is done. Question number 3. The bar chart shows the marks scored by a group of students in a test. That's the frequency. And these are values for the score. And it's a bar chart, not a histogram. Keep that in mind. Write down the mode. The mode is the one with the highest frequency. The highest frequency is 6, but the score is 9. So the score that has got the highest frequency, that score is 9. First of all, take care of that. A lot of people, they write this answer 6. That's not the answer. That's the frequency. Work out the total number of students in the group. So now the score 4, instead of 4, let me just write A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It could be some alphabets also. So basically, we have to look at the sum of the frequencies. So if I add the frequency, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 1, this is a 3 again, this is a 5, this is a 6, and this one is 5. So let's add it up. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 10 is 19. 19 plus 6, this is 25. So there are 25 students in this particular group. Find the median score. The median score is the one that occurs in the middle. So 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Round it up. That is the 13th value. That's in the middle. That means the score of 4 is occurring how many times? So this is occurring 2 times. So there is a 4 and a 4. And then we have a 3. 3 people are having this score 555. Then 555. Then one person is having the score of 6. And then there are 3 scores of 7. Got the idea? And then there are 8 scores of 5. So 8 scores of 5. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's count it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yes, the median value is 5. So the median score is 5. That's how. Sorry, the median score is not 5. That is this one over here. So now there are 8 of them. And just hold for a second. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7. My bad. These are not 5s. These are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I mixed up the 2. So therefore, the median score over here is 8. Erase it properly. Got the idea? So now this thing is done. Question number 4. The scale diagram. Of course, now I cannot draw it exactly to scale, so it would just be a rough estimate. So my diagram would be a rough estimate because I don't have the tools to draw something to scale on the iPad. The scale drawing shows the position of town A and B. That is town A, the other one is town B. So this is A, this is B. It's like this. Town B is due north of A. So B is due north of A or A is due south of B. The scale of the drawing is 1 centimeter to 5 kilometers. And then it says town C lies to the east of line AB. So this is the line AB. Let me just remove this. So now let me do one thing. Let me just remove these two and let me draw this line like this. So now C is somewhere over here. Somewhere over here is C. It is 25 kilometers from A and 40 kilometers from B. Use a ruler and a pair of compasses only. Construct the position of town A on a scale drawing. Measure the bearing of C from town A. So now this, we don't know how much it is. Let's say we have to use a ruler and compass. So basically what we will do is that, let me just give you the idea. We would open the compass like this. And there is 25 kilometers from A. So 25 kilometers from A, maybe I'm drawing it like this, an arc like this. Hold for a second, let me use a blue color like this. And an arc of 40 kilometers from B, and 40 kilometers from B, something like this. So it's just a rough estimate. And let me draw the line from B. Let me make it thinner. From B all the way till this line. So now this blue one, let me just draw it in purple. So all the way up till here, like this. And this one is somewhere like this. Not exactly the same. So now again, this is a rough drawing. This length from here to here, it would make an arc like this where the two intersects, that is point C. It's not on that side, it's on the right-hand side. Measure the bearing of town C from A. So now this angle, maybe I'm not sure, just a rough estimate, maybe something like 120 degrees. That is the bearing of C from A. Again, it's a rough estimate because it's not a scale drawing. It is somewhere in the range of 120 degrees. So now that is the basic construction because loci is no more part of the syllabus. Question 5 is too basic. Write down the reciprocal of 1/9. Reciprocal of 1/9 is 1/9. What kind of question is that? So that 5 questions are done in 7:36 to 7:43. And then 5 questions are done in this time. So now, no, 7:43, not 7:40. Yeah, 7:43. 5 questions are done. So we are starting at 7:43. And let's do 5 more questions. So 5 questions, how much time will it take? Work out 0.2 into 0.4. So 0.2, 2 over 10, 0.4, 4 over 10, 2 into 4 is 8 over 100. I can leave the answer as it is, or I can write this thing as 0.08. And then this thing. Now this is order of operation. So this is plus, there is division. So basically there is a bracket like this. So this is 1/3 plus 2 over 3 into 6 over 7. So now do the cancellation. 3 1s are, 3 2s are, 2 2s are 4. So therefore this is 1 over 3 plus 4 over 7. Which question is this? This is question number 6. So now what we can do is that we can write this thing as 1 over 3. Let me take the LCM 21. So 21 over 3 is 7. 7 into 1 is 7. 21 over 7 is 3. 3 into 4 is 12. 7 plus 12 is 19. That is 19 over 21. 19 over 21. And that is the answer. Now this thing is done. One other thing. Somewhere, some person can over here can write this thing in the simplified form also. So that is 4 and 50. And this can also be written as 2 over 25. So that is also acceptable. Now factorize. Let's take 3 common out. Let's take A common out. This is 4B minus A. Always a good idea to double check. 3A into 4B. That is 3 into 4, 12. 12AB, good. 3A into A, that is 3A square, minus sign remains. So this is 3A, 4B minus A. Perfect. Question number 8. Now, what is this question all about? Now, this question over here, it's about the concept. Maria has a spinner with 4 sections numbered 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 sections over here. So hold for a second. Let me just mark it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. I'm just doing it for fun, so I can just focus on it. She spins the spinner 200 times. So the sum of all these things over here, that is 200. That's the sum of frequency. Write down the relative frequency. Relative frequency is just like probability of spinner landing on 2. So this is 70 over 200. That is 7 over 20. And just write down 7 over 20. That is good. Now, someone can ask this question, is it necessary to write in fractions? There is no such rule as that. So this relative frequency, it can be written as a decimal. That is all good. It can be written as a fraction. That is all good. No issue. You can even write it in the unreduced form. That is 70 over 200. That's also good. Maya says that the relative frequency is a good estimate for the probability of the spinner landing on 2. Explain why it is correct. Now, how many times they have done this experiment? This is called a mathematical or statistical experiment. So they have spun this thing 200 times. So it's a large number of spins. So therefore, relative frequency is a good estimate for probability. So for 1 mark, this basic kind of reasoning is asked. Maya spins the spinner 500 times. Find the number of times Maya should expect the spinner to land on 2. Let me solve it in 2 different ways. Method number 1, that is just use ratio. Out of 270 times, so this is total. This is number landing on 2. Out of 270 times, it's landing on 2. Out of 500, it will land on 2 how many times? Let's call it x. So 200x is 70 into 500. Cancel off the 2 zeros, cancel off the 2 zeros. And I think 70 into 500. This is a 5 over here, my bad. So now over here, let's do the working. X is equals to 70 into 5 divided by 2. 2 ones are 235. 35 into 5. That is 30 plus 5 into 5, which is what? 150 plus 25, which comes out to be 175. That's one method. Method 2. That is just take the relative frequency and multiply it with a number of times. So that should give me the expected value. They would write expectation. This you study in A-level maths also. So let me just make it higher. So this is 7 over 20 into 500. Basically, it's the same thing. You cancel off the 0 and 2 ones are 2 25s are 25 into 7 is 175. Again, you get the same answer as over here. Now, coordinate geometry. The equation of a line P is 5x plus 2y is equals to 13. Equation of line Q is this. Find the gradient of line P. So first of all, 2y is equals to minus 5x plus 13. This is equation of line P. That's this one. 2y is there, 5x taken to the other side. That's all good. Y is equals to minus 5x over 2 plus 13 over 2. Y is equals to mx plus c. Therefore, m comes out to be negative 5 over 2. So gradient negative 5 over 2. And then it says find the coordinates of the point of intersection of line Q with x-axis. So now which is the Q line? Y is equals to 2x minus 7. Line intersecting x-axis, therefore y coordinate is 0. So 0 is 2x minus 7. 2x is equals to 7. X is 7 over 2 or 3.5. So this is 7 over 2, comma 0. That is the point of intersection. That is all done. Find the coordinates of point of intersection of line P and line Q. Okay, so now over here, this is y is equals to 2x minus 7. Y is equals to 2x minus 7. And 5x plus 2y is equals to 13. 5x plus 2y equals to 13. So what do? You solve it simultaneously. Whether by elimination or substitution, that's not an issue. So I'll just take this thing and plug it in over here. I think that feels better. 5x plus 2 times 2x minus 7 is equals to 13. Be very, very careful. 5x plus 4x minus 14 is equals to 13. 5 plus 4, how much is that? 9x. 14 plus 13, 27. Therefore, x comes out to be 3. Therefore, evaluate y, that is 2 into 3 minus 7. 6 minus 7 is -1. This is -1. This is 3. That is the coordinate of the point of intersection of these two things. Okay, so now this thing is all good, all done. For a second. Now this thing is done. Let's move to the next one. Question number 10, mensuration. The diagram shows the container in the shape of a prism, not prison, with an open top. The cross section of the prism is a trapezium. So we have this thing. Let me highlight this. Okay. So now this is the cross section. That is one side. That's the other side. These two sides are parallel. This one is the perpendicular. And then this one is the length of the 3D shape. Okay. Calculate the area, calculate the capacity in liters, calculate the total surface area, and then similarity. Now, that's a big question. First of all, let's talk about this thing, area of trapezium. Area of trapezium, that is half sum of parallel sides. That is 14 plus 26. That's a nice number, and it's also paper one into 8. 14 plus 26, how much is that? 40. So half into 40 into 8. 2 ones are, 2 fours are, 4 into 40, that is 160. That is the answer for this particular part. The next one, calculate the capacity of the container in liters. Now we are working with what? We are working in centimeters, and we should know that 1000 centimeter cube is 1 liter. Okay. So now, first of all, what do? We have the cross-sectional area, which is 160. So volume, it is a cross-sectional area. Write the formula, cross-sectional area into length. So this is 160. How much is the length? Length is 30. So 160 into 30. 3 into 16 is 48. So 48. And then there are 2 zeros. So 4800. Now do the conversion. This is centimeter cube. So now 1000 centimeter cube is 1 liter. Therefore, 4800 centimeter cube is y liters. So therefore, this is like this. 4800 into 1000. And basically, it's dividing by this thing. So ratio proportion, y comes out to be 4.8. So now 1 is 1000. Let me just change the color. Hold for a second. So over here, this 1 becomes 1000. So therefore, y becomes 4800. So y has to be 4.8. So that's the answer for this one. Let me write over here. That is 4.8 liters. Take care of the conversion. Calculate the total surface area of the inside of the container. So total surface area on the inside, there is a front trapezium. That is a back trapezium. And then what else is there? There are some walls. So now the area of this trapezium is 160. That is the front. Let me highlight it. That's the front. That is the back. That is constant. That's why it's a prism. And then if I have this length over here, so now this length into this thing, that will give me this rectangle. Now here comes the tricky part. Let me take this green line. Let me draw it like this. No, not that thick. And this thing is 14. This is 26. What's the difference? Hold for a second. So now this is, okay. Now, if this is 14, this is half of 26. Let me write this thing as 13. Half of 14, therefore this is 7. So 13 minus 7, how much is that? This thing is 6. So this is 6, this is 8, How much is this one, which I'm going to shade as this deep blue color? That is like this. Remember, it's a paper one. So now I have this thing. Now that was somewhere between the lines that you have to read it for yourself like this. It's not drawn to scale. And that is how you are getting this. So therefore, this is 6, this is 8, and this is BC. So Pythagoras theorem, BC square is equals to 8 square plus 6 square. Therefore, BC is square root of 100, which comes out to be 10 units. So now we are taking this 10 units, multiplying it with 300. So front trapezium, that is 160 centimeters square. Back trapezium, that is 160 centimeters square. There is a side wall. There is one wall over here. That is how much? 10 into 30. That is 300. The other wall, that is also 10 into 30. That is 300. What is left? The base rectangle. What is the base rectangle? So first of all, the side wall is this thing. That is this one, which I pointed out earlier. This thing is exactly the same. And now on the ground, this is 30 and this is 14. So this is 30 and 14. That is 30 into 14. That is 420. So this is 420. This is also centimeter square, centimeter square, centimeter square. Therefore, the total surface area 160 plus 160 plus 300 plus 300 plus 420. So now add it all up. First of all, these two, that is 320. This is 300, 300, that is 600 plus 420. So this 20, 20, that's 40. That is 1340. So 1340 is the answer, 1340 centimeters square. That is the answer for this part. A mathematically similar container has a height of 16. What is the height of this container? The height of the container is 8. And that would be 16. So small, the height is 8, large, the height is 16. Calculate the total surface area of the inside of the container with the height 16. So now when we talk about surface area, area of in height 16, that's the large one, area of large into area of small, that is what, that is equals to this thing, which is length small divided by length large, the whole thing square. That's a ratio of areas. So area of large is unknown. Area of small is 1340. We just calculated. Length of small 8, length of large 16. That's in a ratio of 1:2 square. So this is 1:4. And small and large, I think I wrote it upside down. Hold for a second. Because it was large and small. Okay. So now this is area of large, area of small, my bad, length of large, length of small, length of large, length of small, large, small, take care of that. That is 2:1, which is 16:8. This is 2:1 whole square, which is 4:1. That is area of large divided by 1340. So therefore, area of large is 4 times 1340. That is 4 times 1300 plus 40. That is 5200 plus 160. This comes out to be 5360. So 5360 is the answer. So now we have done another 5 questions, and let me write it over here. The time is 7:59. Hold for a second. So 6, that is 7:59. So let me just highlight all these spaces. So later on, I can just double check. That is the first 5 questions. And then the first 5, the next 5, these 2 are done. Now let's move on. Question number 11. So now let's work with question 11 till 15. And then another 5, and then we will have a pattern. And this question is also about a pattern. So now it says gray squares and white squares are used to make patterns in a sequence. So now this is the gray ones. So the one that I'm labeling in purplish type, So that is the gray one. Okay. So now the small thing, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The same pattern will continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this middle one, that is a T shape that is being formed. So that's how the pattern will continue. Shade squares in pattern to continue this, that is done. Complete the table for patterns in the sequence. Pattern 1, there are 4 gray squares. So let me highlight it like this. That's 4, and then 7, and then 10, and then something over here, then something over here. So now over here, let me count it. First of all, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So let me write over here. This thing is 13 over here. Let me write in black color so that it's visible. So therefore, this is 13 over here. There is a constant difference of +3. So that means it's a linear progression. So therefore, this next one has to be 16. So first of all, let me write this thing. The gray squares, that is an arithmetic progression. It's a linear series, linear sequence. We will soon talk about the white one. And how do we talk about the white one? Hold for a second. Let me just shift this down a bit. For gray, let me write over here. For white, I'll write it over here. Now, what do you see in the white one? When the difference is not constant, that means it has to be quadratic or maybe something very weird. So now 2 and 8, there is a difference of 6. 8 and 18, there is a difference of 10. So we are focusing on the second difference being constant. When second difference is constant, this is known as a quadratic sequence. Keep that in mind, and I'll just show you how it's to be done. So white, that is a quadratic sequence. And this quadratic sequence or pattern, it forms this rule Tn is an square plus bn plus c. And the linear follows this rule a plus n minus 1 into d. These are the two rules that we work with. Let me highlight this. This is the linear sequence. That's how it's to be done. This is the quadratic sequence. That's how it's to be done. Now, first of all, let me complete the pattern because that is necessary. There is a difference of 6. There is a difference of 10. The difference should be constant. It's increasing by 4. So this should be 14. And this should be 18. 18 plus 14, 22, 32. And 32 plus 18, how much is that? That is 50. So now this thing is done. Let me also do one thing over here. That is this thing. This is the first difference. My bad. Let me just correct myself. The first difference is constant. So the first difference, the second difference is constant. Hold for a second, but I haven't calculated the second difference as yet. So let me first calculate the second difference that is coming out over here. The difference between 6 and 10 is how much? That is 4. The difference between 10 and 14 is 4. The difference between 4 and 18 is 4. Okay. The first difference over here, this first difference, this is an AP, arithmetic progression. Now have a good look at it. Now let's spend some time on it. So now if the first difference is AP, that means the second difference is constant. That means it's a quadratic sequence. Now let me take you to this place. This is about surds, this is about recurring, and this is about pattern. So remember this thing. In a quadratic sequence, Tn is an square plus bn plus c. If I plug in n is equals to 1, I get the first term as a plus b plus c. If I plug in n is equals to 2, I get T2, that is 4a plus 2b plus c. Ignore this for right now. If I plug in n is equals to 3, I get 9a plus 3b plus c. Now, the difference between these two, is this. The difference between these two is this. Therefore, the second difference is 2a. So first term is a plus b plus c. Now let me highlight this. The first difference is a plus b plus c. And the second difference is 2a. And the first term over here, that is that I can use. The difference between T2 and T1 is this thing. So use this, use this, use this. First term, A plus B plus C. First difference between the first two terms, 3A plus B. Second difference is 2A. So now hold for a second. Let me just highlight this and let me write it over here. So now over here, the very first thing is that A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C, that equals to this thing, which is right over here, which is this value. Let me mark it in orange. That is this 2 over here. So the first difference is 2. That is the first thing. That is equation number 1. Now over here, this difference, this first thing over here, this pink thing, for a second. Now this thing over here, this pinkish thing, this one is the difference between these two, that is 6. So now over here, this thing that we have written, 3A plus B, that is equals to that thing. So 3A plus B, this equals to this thing, which is 6 over here. That is equation number 2. And last but not the least, we have the third thing, which is this. That means the second difference is constant. That is 4. What is the formula for second difference? 2A. So therefore, 2A equals to 4. And that is equation 3. I would advise you, those people who are looking at this thing for the very first time in amazement, make sure you watch out the videos on this particular topic. So there should be a video on number pattern. Watch the whole video. Maybe there are 2 versions of it. Watch the whole video. It's about arithmetic. It's about quadratic sequence. So this is about quadratic sequence. So some people can observe it. Other people, they have to work it out. Don't worry about the marks, because sometimes difficult things also have lesser marks. So now when I start with this, from this one, I get A is equals to 2. We start with 3, go to 2. 3A plus B is equals to 6. 3 into 2 plus B is equals to 6. 6 and 6 cancel out. B comes out to be 0. We have A is 2. We have B is 0. Plug it in over here. So A plus B plus C is equals to 2. A is how much? A is 2. B is how much? 0. C is how much? We are looking for. This is 2. Therefore, C comes out to be 0. So therefore, I can write this thing as Tn is equals to an square plus bn plus c. This is 0. This is 0. Not always. A is 2. Therefore, Tn is 2n square. So this is 2n squared. That's one long way of doing it. Now, if someone has a very sharp eyesight, what they can see is that this is 2, this is 8, this is 18, this is 32, this is 15. Half of 2 is 1, half of 8 is 4, half of 18 is 9, half of 32 is 16, half of 50 is 25. Now, these are square numbers, but they're multiplied by 2. So white thing, another observation, alternative for this white thing is that take square numbers and multiply by 2. So this is 2n square. That is how you get it. So it's your choice. Whether if you want to follow the formula, this is it. It's not always that you have all this B and C as 0. It could be something else. So that's why officially you should be knowing this. And some people can do the observation. So that's how this is achieved. So 11 part 1 is done. Part 2 is done. And what time did we start? I think we started at, my bad. So now this is, let me cancel this. So now we have started this thing, I think at 7:59. And it's still going. And let's see how much time does it take. Now it says pattern 10 and pattern 11. They have sequence made from gray and white square. Find the difference between the total number of squares needed to make pattern 10 and the total number of squares needed to pattern 11. So pattern 10, n is equals to 10. Then we have this thing, Tn. I think I skipped one thing. This thing was skipped. Let me just work it out. So over here, A is 4. Common difference is 3. That is this thing. Therefore, Tn is A plus n minus 1 into D. That is A, which is 4. This is n minus 1 into 3. So 3n minus 3 plus 4, that is 3n plus 1, that is tn. So tn is 3n plus 1. Let me also write here tn is 3n plus 1. Let me write tn the quadratic as 2n square. Let me write tn as 2n square. All good? Let me write n as 10, n as 11. Just do it very methodic in a methodology wise. So therefore, n is 10, t10 is equals to 3 into 10 plus 1, which is 31. T10, this is equals to 2 into 10 square, 100 into 2, that's 200. Therefore, total is 231. So now keep in mind, this is gray, this is white, this is gray, this is white. All good? Over here, again, T11, that is 3 into 11 plus 1, 33 plus 1, 34. And T11, that is 2 into 11 square, 2 into 121, that is 242. Therefore, the total is how much? That is 246 plus 30, 276. Now the difference is 276 minus 231, which I think is 45. So the difference is 45. That's right over here. Now it says pattern K in the sequence needs 61 gray squares. So red color, that is for the gray. Tn is 3n plus 1. We need 61 gray squares. 61 is 3n plus 1. 60 is 3n. Therefore, the number pattern is 20. We are looking for the 20th thing. Find the number of white squares. So let's calculate for 20. That is 2n square. So 2 into 20 square. That is 2 into 400. That comes out to be 800. So the answer for pattern K is this. And instead of n, you can write a k. So instead of n, you can write a k. So let me write a k over here, 3k, 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 k is there. K is 20, therefore T20 is 800, and that's how you get this answer. Let's move on. Question number 12. The position vector of A is this. So OA, that is negative 2, 3. AB is 5, negative 1. AB is 5 and negative 1. And AB is BC are the same. Okay. So do I need OB? Yes. AB is OB minus OA. So therefore, AB is 5. Let me first make it the subject. So OB is AB plus OA. AB is 5 and negative 1. OA is negative 2 and 3. 5 and negative 2 added together, 3 minus 1 plus 3 is 2. That is OB. It's not over yet. AB is the same thing as BC. So BC is also 5 and negative 1. BC is OC minus OB. That is also 5 and negative 1. Therefore, OC is equals to 5 negative 1 plus OB. So therefore, not OB like this. That is OB. And 5 and negative 1 plus OB. How much is OB? OB is 3, 2. So 5 plus 3 is 8. And this is 1. So therefore, the answer for question number 12 is 8 and 1. So for 2 marks, this is the working that needs to be done. Okay, let me just drink some water. Now, question number 13. Write 0.23 as a fraction in its simplest form. I would advise you not only to watch this particular video that is about certs, that is a lot of certs, made it a long time ago, about rationalization, about addition, things like that. That is rationalization. And I think there is more of it. Let me just shift it up. Yeah, these kind of rationalization also comes. Very, very important. And similarly, over here, when we talk about this thing, that is what you call recurring decimals. So that's how it's to be done. Let me give you the idea because it's a new topic. So therefore, 0.4, if you have this thing on the top or dot on the top, that means that particular digit will be repeating. So let x is equals to this thing. 10x, the decimal would shift. This thing at the end, this thing at the end would be the same. When you have reached this stage, subtract, subtract, and convert into fraction. So it's about multiple of 10 or 100 or 1,000 and so on. Let's look at this 0.57. So this is 0.575757. If I multiply by 10, that is 5.75757 and so on. Now these two are not the same. If I multiply by 100, now the thing at the end and this is the same. Subtract, subtract, and then you convert. Watch it out for more details. So now let me just convert it over here. That's right over here. 0.23 as a fraction in its simplest term. So let me write, let x equals to 0.2333 and so on. If I write 10x, that is 2.3333 and so on and so on. Now, if I do the subtraction, these two are not the same. So this one and this one, it's not the same. Therefore, let me multiply it with 100. Now, if I multiply with 100x, what do I get? I get 23.3333 and so on. Now, wait for a second. This thing over here and this thing over here, is it the same? Yes, it's the same. So now you are in a position to do subtraction. So the difference between 100 and 10, so 100x minus 10x, that is equals to 23 minus 2, that is 23.333 minus 2.333, that comes out to be 21. So 90x is 21. Therefore, x is 21 over 90. Can I reduce it? Yes, 3 7s are, 3 30s are. So 7 over 30 is your answer. So that is the kind of working that needs to be done for recurring thing. Let me just double check the recording and everything. That is all good, all clear. So now this thing is done. Let's look at question number 14. It says ABCD are points on the circle, on the circumference of a circle. And let me just charge the pencil a bit. So now it says EF is a tangent to the circle that you can see. And then it says angle BAD is 68, angle BC is 50, find angle CBD, give a geometrical property to explain every single step of your working. How many marks is that? 5 marks. Now, first thing first, do not focus on what you are looking for, just focus on what you know. Now, this is a tangent. Let me draw this tangent. This is a chord over here. Now, there is a very new property that is now again included that is called alternate segment theorem. What it says is that the angle that the chord, the tangent makes with the chord is the same as this angle making in the alternate segment at the circumference. We just write alternate segment theorem. So now this thing over here, let me draw a line like this. The same chord is making this angle. So now the rule is this 50 degrees over here is the same thing as this 50 degrees over here. Got the idea? The name of this angle is BDC. It's produced by BC. This BC is producing this angle with the tangent. So the first thing is BDC is 50 degrees. Reason, simply write alternate segment theorem. That is step number 1. Now the second step. What is the second step? The second step is, do you see any cyclic quadrilateral? I think I do see it. So now this line over here. And then this bluish line is there. So this reddish line over here, like this. So now this is a cyclic quadrilateral. And it also says A, B, C, D are points on the circumference of a circle. That is A, that is B, that is C, and that is D. The rule is opposite angles are supplementary. So angle A and angle C. So angle A plus angle C is 180 degrees. What's the reason? Opposite angles of cyclic, quadrilateral, or supplementary. So therefore, A plus C is 180 degrees. Therefore, C is 180 minus A. How much is A? 68. 180 minus 70 is 110. Add 2 to it. So that is 112 degrees. That is angle C. Angle C means BCD. Or you can even write this thing as BCD is equals to 112 degrees. Now comes the last part. That is step number 3. Angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So now we have angle D, 50. This is 112 degrees. This is the one that you're looking for, right? CBD, yes. CBD plus 112 plus 50 adds up to 180. Therefore, CBD is equals to 180 minus 50. That is 130 minus 112. Therefore, CBD is equals to 18 degrees. So CBD is 18 degrees, and that's the answer for this part. Question 14 is done. 15 is this one. And then let me draw another line over here for the next set of questions. 25 raised to power of negative 3 over 2. 25 can be written as 5 square raised to power of negative 3 over 2. Multiply it out, 2 into negative 3 over 2. That comes out to be negative 3. This simplifies to 5 raised to power of negative 3, which can be written as 1 over 5 cube. 5 cube is 125. This is 1 over 125. That's the answer. So now this thing is done, and the time now is 8:22. So hold for a second. We started off here. We went a lot of detail into it. 8:22, that is this. Now, let's look at question number 16. We have a set notation. The universal set is given 1 till 12. X lies between 6 and 10. X is a factor of 18. X is a square number. Let me write it, all of them. So first of all, if I write A, how much is that? 6 till 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let me write set B. It's a factor of 18. 1 is a factor of 18. 2 is 3 is 6 is 9 is a factor of 18. 18 is not part of it. C, X is a square number. 1 is a square number. 4 is a square number. 9 is a square number. And that's it. That's the one. Complete the Venn diagram. Now, first of all, let's focus on the common thing. 9 is common. I think 9 should go exactly in the middle, right? Like over here. So this is 9 over here. Now, is there anything common between A and B? So between A and B, there is 6 common, there is 9 common, and that's it. So let me write 6 over here. That thing is done. Is there anything in common between B and C? 1 is common, 9 is already common, and that's it. So between B and C, that is 1 is common. So between B and C, 1 is common. All good. Now, is there anything in common between A and C? Between A and C, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 4, 9. So only 9 is common. Therefore, there is nothing over here. This is blank. Now, what else comes in A? In A, we have taken care of 6 and 9. So we have 7, 8, and 10. 7, 8, and 10. What else comes in B? We have taken care of 6 and 9. So this is 1. 1 is already there. So this is 2 and 3. And what about C? 1 is taken care of. 9 is taken care of. So we are left with 4. Now, are there any ones which are not part of it? They are on the outside. Of course, there are many. 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, 5, 6 is there, 7 is there, 8 is there, 9 is there, 10 is there, and then 11, and then 12. These 3 come on the outside. That's how you fill it up. Find n number of elements in A intersection, C intersection, B complement. So B complement is outside of this, and that is this, and this, and this, but it's intersecting with A intersection C. So A intersection C, there is nothing in common. So there are no elements. So there are no elements in this thing. So we write as 0. The number is 0. Question 17. The times taken by some students to travel to school one morning. And this is question 16 till 20. And what time did we start? Hold for a second. So this is 8:22, I think. Okay. So there it is. So we are starting at 8:22 and then onwards. The times some student take to travel to school one morning is shown in the table. Time, frequency, and all this thing. We have frequency density on the vertical axis. What is frequency density? That is class frequency divided by class width. Now it says complete the histogram and then some reasoning. Now complete the histogram. Do we need the value of X? Yes. So now the first thing, what do we have? We have frequency. The first one is done for you. Okay. So over here, this is 1. And this is 10 small grids. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is 1.6. So the height is 1.6. So, and the width, class width, that is 5, and there is 10, and there is 5, and there is 5, and there is 30. All good? So frequency is frequency density, that is 1.6. So if I want to make class frequency the subject, it's the area of the bar. So the area of the bar is what we are looking for. So 1.6 into 5. So X is 1.6 into 5. That comes out to be 8. The value of X is 8. That is the first thing that you need to take care of. So now that is 8. That's the first thing. And then when we have to complete it, 10 till 20, the height, the frequency is this. Let me just pause the recording for Azan. So now people, let's look at this question. We need frequency density for each one of them. So now 16 divided by 10, that is 1.6. And 29 divided by 5, it's a paper one. 20 till 25. So that is 30 divided by 5 is 6 and 0.2, 5.8. So now this thing is 5.8. And this is 20 divided by 5 is 4.0. 15 divided by 30 is 0.5. Let's draw it up. So now let's draw this thing. 10 till 20, 1.6. 10 till 20, 1.6. This is frequency density is 1.6. Yeah. So this 10 till 20 is also 1.6. That is one thing. And then we have 20 till 25, 5.8. 20 till 25, 5.8. So that's a long way up. That's not an easy thing to draw. That is causing a trouble. Let me just draw it roughly. So 20 to 25, hold for a second. Okay, like this. And then 25 to 30, 4.0. 25 to 30, 4.0. Something like this. And then let me just make it nicer. Okay, so over here. Okay, this thing is done. And then the last one, 30 till 60, 0.5. 30 till 60, that is 0.5. So now that's how it's done. All good. Jamila says that the histogram shows that there are same number of students in 5 to 10 as in 10 to 20. Explain why this is wrong. 5 to 10, this is 1.6. 10 to 20, that's 1.6. No, even though the heights are the same. Explain why she is wrong. Because the reason is, first of all, the area of bar represents frequency. Even though the bars have same height, but the widths are different. Therefore, they have different areas and hence different frequencies. That is how you have to explain that. All good, all clear? So this thing is done. The widths are different. Question 18, exponential, the new thing. The diagram shows a sketch of the graph. The graph crosses the y-axis at point A. Find the coordinate of point A. Very simple. When x is 0, y is 3 into 2 raised to power of 0 plus 5. That is 3 into 1 plus 5. That comes out to be 8. So the y-intercept is 0, 8. Write down the equation of the asymptote of the graph. When we simply draw y is equals to 2 power x, horizontal asymptote y is equals to 0. Even if we draw y is equals to 3 into 2 power x, horizontal asymptote is unchanged. It's still y is equals to 0. When we draw y is equals to 3 into 2 power x plus 5, the horizontal asymptote increases by 5 units. Y is equals to 5. That is what they want you to write. So now this thing is done. Acha ji. Now what's the next one? 19, functions. Fx is 5x plus 2. So find f of 3. F of 3 is 5 into 3 plus 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. So that thing is done. Let me just hold for a second. So now this is this thing. That is 19. This comes out to be 17. Find gfx in this form. So now gx is this. When we write g of f of x, that means g of fx. So therefore, that is something square minus 5. What is that something square? That is this fx. This is fx. This is fx. So 5x plus 2 whole square minus 5. Let's expand. That comes out to be 25x square plus 10x, 10x. That's 20x plus 4 minus 5. That is 25x square plus 20x minus 1. That is the answer, 25x square plus 20x minus 1. Solve this thing. 3 over h of fx is equals to minus 1. So now we also have hx. Hx is 7 minus x. Hx is 7 minus x. H of fx should be 7 minus f of x. What is f of x? 5x plus 2. So this is 5x plus 2. Put a negative sign, minus, and then it's 7. So 7 minus 2 is what? 5. So this is 5 minus 5x. 3 over fx, hfx. This thing is hfx. hfx. 5 minus 5x. This is 5. 1 minus x is equals to negative 1. Cross multiply. 3 over 5 is minus 1 plus x. Take 1 to the other side. 1 plus 3/5 is equals to x. 5 over 5 plus 3/5 is equals to x. X comes out to be 8 over 5. X comes out to be 8 over 5. And now we are on question number 20. So almost near the end. Let me highlight few things. OA is A and OB is B. It's a parallelogram, correct? It says so. So therefore, these two sides are parallel as well as equal in length. These two sides are parallel as well as equal in length. OA is equals to 2F, OB is equals to 2G. X is a point on AB such that AX is to AB is 3 is to 1. X is a point on AB. Okay, AB is not drawn, so I can draw it like this. And then we will do that thing. Find simply as possible. First of all, let's find AB. OA plus AB is OB. OA plus AB is equals to OB. AB is OB minus OA. OB is 2G, OA is 2A. So that's the first thing that you need to find. So right over here, 2G minus, my bad, OB is 2F and 2G. Hold for a second. OB is 2G and OA is 2F. So this is 2G minus 2F. I've seen it for the first time that instead of A and B, they have used F and G. XC. So now this would be more 3 marks. Yes. So there is a point such that AX is 2, XB is 3 is 2, 1. AX should be somewhere over here. AX to XB, this is 3 is 2, 1. Okay. So AX to XB is 3 is 2, 1. I need to find XC. So in order to find XC, I can work with the AX. So AX is 3/4 of AB. So AX is 3/4 of AB. This is AB right over here. So AX is 3/4 of 2G minus 2F. That is how much? That is 3 over 2G minus 3 over 2F. That is the first thing. Next thing. Let me draw a line connecting these two. So let me draw this thing like this. Now look at the working. I need XC. So, or I can do it like this. AX plus XC. AX plus XC is AC. AX plus XC is equals to AC. Therefore, XC is AC minus AX. Arrows all along, that is a must. So AC is how much? AC is the same thing as OB, which is 2G, minus AX. That is 3 over 2G minus 3 over 2F. 2 minus 1.5, that is half G. Minus minus becomes a plus, that is 3 over 2F. So I think the answer should be 3 over 2F plus half G. I'm writing F first and then G. Question, let me do 21 and then I'll do the timing. This thing, LCM, single fraction. It's not an equation. So 3x minus 1, x plus 2, 4 is multiplying with x plus 2 minus as it is, 5 is multiplying with 3x minus 1. Do not multiply out the denominator, leave it as it is, 3x minus 1, x plus 2. This is 4x plus 8 minus 15x and plus 5. One other step. So 4x minus 15x, that is negative 11x. And 5 plus 8 is 13. That is good. And then what do we have? And then we have this thing, which is 3x minus 1 and x plus 2. So 13 minus 11x over 3x minus 1, x plus 2. No need to simplify the denominator. So now this is 843. So hold for a second. So now this is 822 till 843. So this is 843 up till question number 21. And what time did we start? We started at 7:36. This is 8:43. So now 7:36 till 8:43. That is 1 hour, 13 minutes for first 25 questions. First 21 questions. That is 1 hour and 13 minutes. That is 73 minutes with a small azan break. And now we are left with how many questions? 22, 23, 24. 3 more questions. Plus 3 other questions, which is 22. Questions 22, 23, 24. So I think that should be another 15 minutes, I think. The diagram shows a circle of radius 3. The minor angle is 100. Calculate the area of the major sector. Very simple. This is 260 degrees. Radius is 3. Area. So area is theta. That is 260 over 360 into pi into r square. What is r? That is 3 square. Now it depends on how you want to do the cancellation. Let me first get rid of the zeros. That's the first thing. Then let me get rid of, do not get rid of, hold for a second. This is 26. This is 36. This is pi. This is 9. So 9 ones are, 9 fours are 36. 26 over 4, that is 13 over 2. So this comes out to be 13 over 2 pi centimeter square. Leave your answer as it is. If you want to further simplify, you can write this thing as 6.5 pi centimeter square. You can also write this thing as 6.5 centimeter square. So all of these are good forms. 23, completed square. X square minus 6x plus something square minus something square minus 19. Make sure the coefficient of x square is 1. If not, you have to take common. Take half the coefficient of x, first add and then subtract. Rewrite the first three terms as a perfect square. That is x minus 3 whole square minus 9 minus 19. That is 28. And that is how you get this thing. So this is x minus 3 whole square minus 28. Use your answer to part A. You have to use this answer. Write down the coordinates of the turning point. The gold standard is ax minus h whole square plus k. This is not the gold standard. Always remember this. So that sometimes the examiner messes up these signs over here. So we should remember this. H comma k, therefore 3 comma negative 28. That's the coordinate of the turning point. That's the answer for this. 3 comma negative 28. Last one, that is rationalization. First one is taking care of the exact form. 75 is 25 into 3. 27, that is 9 into 3. So root 75 is root 25 into 3. 27 is root 9 into 3. Write this thing as root 25, root 3, root 9, root 3. Therefore, root 25 is 5 root 3. This is 3 root 3. Root 3 can be taken common out. 5 plus 3, that is 8. This is 8 root 3. Pretty straightforward. Rationalize the denominator, a plus root b. If it multiplies with a minus root b, that is a square minus b. Just like a plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square. So basically, this is over here. This is a. So a square becomes a square. And this is root b. This is root b. Root b square becomes b. That is the rule. So what do? We multiply and divide by conjugate of denominator. You change the sign of this thing. The plus becomes the minus. So 2 plus root 5, 2 minus root 5, 2 minus root 5. Now what happens? This is 3, 2 minus root 5. This is 2 square minus root 5 square. That is 3, 2 minus root 5. This is 4. This is 5. This is 3, 2 minus root 5 over negative 1. Get rid of the negative 1. Change the sign at the top. 3 root 5 minus 2 over 1. That is 3 root 5 minus this thing. Let me just, root 5 minus 2. You can write it like this. Or 3 root 5 minus 6. That is also possible. So now this thing, the time is 8:48. So now this is 8:48. We finished it in 5 minutes. Not bad. So 73 plus 5 is 78 minutes. That is 1 hour and 18 minutes to do this 2-hour paper. I think that's a very good time for myself. And of course, that is what I'm teaching you people to do well in the exams. Stay tuned for more content on mathematics with Shahab Yaqub.